by the power of Grayskull.
I made a bunny.
That's a big Twinkie.
Welcome everybody to the other episode of the Cereal Box Prize Podcast. The podcast will serve you 3 scoops of pop culture. I'm your host, Steve Garcia, and I got my spooky co-host, Aaron Smeltzer.
What's happening?
What's going on, Aaron? How is everything going with you over there with my spooky? I sound like freaking Sesame Street. What's his name? The Count. Yeah, that's how I sounded right now. I sounded like the Count right now. Oh man! So obviously, everybody, this is our Halloween episode because obviously it's Halloween and we're getting into the Halloween spirit with all types of spooky stuff. But besides Halloween, Aaron, how is your week going, man?
It's going all right. I got a few deals off of eBay that completed a few parts of my collection. I got the Red Battlezord head to complete my Red Battlezord from Power Rangers Zeo. That was for some reason that little piece was just elusive. I mean, you can find the complete ones, but for whatever reason, nobody was just selling the head. I probably had that saved in my searches for, I don't know, 6 or 7 months, and it finally popped up. And then I got that Krang variant that I sent you the picture of for the Android body Krang, the 12-inch one. So that was good. And then I just snagged a little Brave Star poster, promotional Brave Star poster last night off of eBay because that's my new goal collection since it's a small collection. Even though it's a bit pricey, I'm going to start going for the Brave Star collection.
Nice, man. Nice. So where'd you find that poster from?
It was off of eBay, but it was kind of cool because it was a promotional item from Filmation, and it said coming. I think it said coming September 1987 or something like that. So basically, it was like promoting the TV show, and so I'm guessing it was a promotional item that was sent out to people for displays, maybe in comic shops or, maybe somebody to put up at a mall or something, I'm guessing. I don't know. I just thought it was cool because it was kind of like a little promo poster that, you don't really see too often because, a lot of that paper and cardboard stuff, as we know, didn't last very well over the last 30 years.
That is awesome, man. Man, so you're going down the Brave Star rabbit hole right now, huh?
Yeah, I got 2 from Dave a couple weeks ago, and I got some parts and pieces and have been completing those. And then I found another one at the yard sale, and I was like, you know what? It's a small enough set that I think I can complete it with general ease, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 pieces. And like the horse, there's a horse, his name's 3030, and I guess that thing is just fragile as hell. So you find them a lot of times, they're, the tail's broken or the leg's broken or whatever, but I think that's going to be the hardest piece to find. But there's only I want to say 11 figures, if that. So it's a really small line, and then there's 1 big play set and a couple vehicles. So I think it's going to be a nice goal to have because it's a smaller set. It's not like collecting, G.I. Joes where there's, freaking 1,000 of them. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I needed to set a new goal for something. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, man. I feel like as collectors, we got to set goals to ourselves. Like, all right, I just finished this line. What else am I going to collect? And I know like last episode we talked about retro video games, going on that rabbit hole and collecting. But yeah, that's how it is being a collector. It's like, okay, I just finished vintage TMNT from like, let's say 88 to like 91. That's all I want to collect. Now, when am I going to finish? And it's like a never ending cycle of just trying to complete lines and toys and figures. It will never end, man.
Yeah. I think for me, I right now it's like, I might have a few like, odds and ends saved in my, eBay search history. Like one of the ones is like the Ecto Glow Ray, because that's the last one that I need for my Ecto Glow set. So like if that one pops up, I'll snag that one if it's loose, because I can't afford the mint on card ones. But I think it's I have some few odds and ends of pieces that I'd like to complete, a couple collections, but like I think like most of my collections right now are at a decent place where I'm not searching for, a bulk of a collection.
No, yeah. You definitely don't want to take a second mortgage out of your house just to get Ecto Glow Ray.
No, I don't. I'm not spending $350 or $400 on a sealed figure. I'll wait for a Lucy to pop up for 40 or 50 and snag that one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I haven't really done much hunting. I mean, I went to the flea market for the last time of the season. I ended up getting a Terminator 2 1991-92 Arnold, and I bought it off Dave, our local toy vendor at the flea market for like $1, and it was cool because it was a Terminator that I had as a kid. And as soon as I saw it, you know how it is when you find that toy that you had as a kid, I was just like, oh my God, it's Arnie. I'm like, I had this when I was a kid. So I snagged that right away. Ended up picking up that, which was freaking awesome, man, that I got to find that. Got a turtle figure, nothing major, just one of those like firefighter hose like Donatello. Nothing big. Picked up a Wii game, and then also you ended up selling me a Wii system for $40, man, and let me just say thank you for that, Aaron. Appreciated that. And yeah, so I ended up modding the Wii. So there's this thing called Homebrew. It's called the Homebrew channel, and what happens is when you mod your Wii, once it's modded, this channel pops up, and it just pops up of all these emulators from Sega Genesis all the way from Atari to Commodore to Neo Geo to all the Game Boy Advances. And now it's just the process of, getting this SD card, filling up all these ROMs with the cover art and passing everything over. And hopefully Nintendo isn't listening to this right now, because I just heard that these two gentlemen called Target Executioners or something, they just got arrested for selling USB sticks for the Nintendo Switch with pirated games. So Nintendo's staying on top of all this stuff. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't be saying this on the podcast, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's common knowledge now that, I think in the past couple months, like you said, that somebody was able to hack the Wii finally after all these years. And, a lot of people are doing that now. I think Nintendo, if you're trying to sell something that, Nintendo it's going to hurt Nintendo's sales, that's when they're going to go after you. I think a lot of people over time have tried to take on Nintendo, and I'm pretty sure each and every one of them have.
Listen, I mean, how can you go against a big conglomerate company, from Japan, and I think the main headquarters is in Seattle? Like, those guys have their own lawyers from head to toe. As a matter of fact, one of their lawyers ended up being the inspiration for Kirby.
Yes. Yeah. They honored him by making him into his own lovable character. I think it's, when you start releasing software or, even a USB drive that, that now you can play pirated games, or, that's taking money out of Nintendo's pocket. I mean, with like emulators and stuff, Nintendo has known that these emulators have existed for years. The whole purpose of that was to kind of save the software. God forbid, there was a mass destruction of cartridges and whatever, and it was almost like a backup. And the thing with emulators is technically, if you own the cartridge, you can own the emulator, because it's almost like owning a CD. Like when you own a CD, you can burn that CD onto your computer and, listen to it on the computer as well as own the CD, because you bought the CD. So that was the whole purpose of emulators when they first came out. But as we know, over the past 20 years or so, I remember being in high school, getting burned discs of just emulators and playing all my favorite, Nintendo games on the computers in lab class or whatever, people have taken advantage of it, but I think technically you can own them for 24 hours. So, Steve, just make sure when you're playing it, you're deleting the emulator after 24 hours each time you play.
Yeah, definitely gonna do that, because I don't want to get that. Yeah, this is Nintendo at your door knock, so that would not be good. There's just some Nintendo rep there dressed like Mario about to hit me with a mushroom over my head.
He's gonna put a plunger where the sun doesn't shine.
Yeah. Oh my God, that would not be good, man. But yeah, man. Yeah, not much on the toy world, but we all know that we're into the Halloween season. So I've been watching just a ton of horror movies. Just getting into the Halloween spirit. Went on Netflix. Watched the first Poltergeist, which, man, did I forget how good that first Poltergeist movie is. And you know what I did not know? I forgot that it was directed by Tobe Hooper. Aaron, do you know who Tobe Hooper is and what other movie he directed?
No, I'm not a big director follower. if that's
right. Right. No. So Tobe Hooper, he directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
So it's weird that so Steven Spielberg wrote Poltergeist, and from the information that I looked up online after I watched the movie, I guess like nobody really knows who directed what scene in the movie, because I guess even though Spielberg wrote or co-wrote most of the film and Tobe Hooper directed it, I guess he was on set all the time still directing parts. And it's funny because when I was watching the movie, I'm like, oh, that looks like a Spielberg scene. Oh, wait a minute, that looks like a Hooper scene. So it's funny when you watch the movie how you can tell, like, what scenes were directed by Spielberg, because you can kind of feel like a Spielberg film, because Spielberg has like that feel. I don't know how to explain it, man. Like, you just know when you're watching like a Spielberg film or like a Spielberg scene. But yeah, so watching tons of Halloween stuff. So yeah, watch Poltergeist. I watched this movie called Alive on Netflix about a Korean guy who's living in his apartment, and he wakes up one day and he's like, I think he's like on the 8th or 9th floor, and when he looks out the window, everybody's a zombie. Everybody is a zombie, and I don't want to give it away, but here's some spoilers real quick for those listening. If you don't want to listen to this, just wait up, fast forward or whatever into the podcast. But yeah, he's living on the 9th floor. He calls his parents. He gets a voicemail from his mom and dad saying, don't leave the apartment, stay in the apartment. He goes like 6 days in the apartment, and then he gets another voicemail, and the mom's telling him, oh, I hope you packed for like 60 days of food. Now he looks in his fridge and he has no food, of course. So then he finds out his parents are dead, and now it's just him versus the undead. But then right across the way to another building, there's this other Korean girl, and they end up, like sharing information. They team up, they fight. It's just an incredible movie, man. It's called Alive. If you guys have not seen it, check it out on Netflix. So yeah, man, just been doing all the Halloween horror stuff, man. Like, I love this month. Love Halloween, man. The only thing that sucks, Aaron, is that, man, I cannot wear my Ghostbusters costume, and I cannot rock my Sweet Proton pack this year, man.
Well, why not? I mean, you could wear it whenever you want, right?
Yeah, I could, man. But like, there's something about like, like Salem, Mass for Halloween being open, and like certain like festivals being open for Halloween, and just wearing the costume and
True.
just making people smile with it, man. Now, I went online and like Salem, Mass isn't having any Halloween stuff because of COVID, and Canopy Lake Park isn't doing their Halloween thing. So, this year for Halloween, man, like I'm gonna have to just dust off the old pack and have it in the corner for next year, man. But it's okay. It's okay. Next year will be good. So
I was about to say you can just wear it around the house. It's not the same, but you could just be like, "Hey, what's going on?" Busted, you feel good, You can just
yeah, I could just knock on my neighbor's door and be like, "Hey, somebody said they had a paranormal event here. I'm here to investigate for you."
make up your own fun.
Oh man, that is sweet, man. But yeah, man. So yeah, that's what's been going on with me lately, and just work, man. So just trying to get into the Halloween spirit. And have you seen the trailer for that Adam Sandler movie, Who Be Halloween, on Netflix?
Yeah, I have, and funny story about that. It was actually filmed, or parts of it were filmed in my wife's hometown of Marblehead, Massachusetts. He films a lot of films. I think he filmed Grown Ups, part of Grown Ups 1 and 2 there, and a couple of his other films. He likes that locale, so I feel like every time Adam Sandler has a new movie, he's always filming somewhere in Marblehead. So my wife was telling me that she watched it. I hadn't did. She said that she recognized a lot of the locales in the movie, and she actually drove by the house during the haunted house during the shooting of the movie.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, isn't Adam Sandler from New Hampshire originally, if I'm not mistaken?
From New England. I don't know if he's from New Hampshire or Mass, but he's definitely local from the area. So he always tries to like film, locally up here.
Yeah, that's cool, man. It's funny. I've been seeing some reviews about that film. I haven't seen it yet, but it's not getting good reviews, man. And I haven't seen Uncut Gems. I don't know if you heard about that film with Adam Sandler.
Yeah, didn't he win like an ESPY on that or something? Or like
yeah.
There was some. I remember whenever it came out, there was some talk that it was it was a really good movie in regards to like the sports world.
Yeah, so he won an award for that, and people were like, "Wow, a comedian won an award, for a dramatic role," and it's Adam Sandler. But then in my mind, I'm like, he's not the first comedian that's done dramatic roles. Like Jamie Foxx has won a bunch of stuff. A ton of other comedians have done dramatic roles. But it's out of the norm from Adam Sandler, because we all know Adam Sandler from like The Waterboy, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. Like all that like funny, over the top with his characters. The same people are always in his film. But yeah, so like Uncut Gems won an award, and Who Be Halloween got a bad rating from people, and I don't know what it is with like Adam Sandler now. He's been doing, I think this is his second or third film direct on Netflix.
Yeah.
I think right now Adam Sandler's just trying to stay relevant, so that like nobody forgets his name, which is cool. I heard there was a few funny parts in it. I think the last funny movie that I saw with Adam Sandler was Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I really like Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2. Shaquille O'Neal in Part 2 was hilarious, man. So yeah, I think those two films were pretty good, man. But yeah, haven't seen it yet. I'm still gonna check it out. We are in the Halloween season, so definitely gonna check that one out.
Yeah, my wife, like I said, my wife watched it. She told me she wasn't impressed by it. But I guess one of the kind of cool caveats at the end of the movie, and this isn't a spoiler, Adam Sandler dedicated the movie Hubie Halloween to Cameron Boyce, who played in Grown Ups 1 and 2 and passed away. He was one of the stars of Descendants on the Disney Channel, and he passed away, I want to say last year, just kind of out of the blue. I guess he had a pre-existing medical condition and passed away at a very young age. So it was kind of nice of Adam Sandler to dedicate that movie to him.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That is awesome, man. Good for Adam Sandler, man, and that's cool, man. So yeah, for those listening, man, if you want to check out Who Be Halloween, check it out. It's on Netflix. Yeah, it's nothing good, but if you're in the Halloween spirit and you want to catch something that's new and part of the Halloween season, then check that out. But man, we got some stuff to talk about here, Aaron. And the internet was going crazy as usual, the toy collectors, because Hasbro PulseCon just happened and they revealed a ton of stuff. Now, I was working the day that Hasbro PulseCon was going on, so I had to go back and rewatch the stuff, and a couple of the toy websites that I follow posted up some of the stuff, man. But so yeah, man. So let's talk about some of the things, man, because Aaron, I know you've been collecting the G.I. Joe line, right?
Yeah.
Now, did you see what Hasbro released for the G.I. Joe line?
Yeah, the Supreme Cobra Commander, the Snake Supreme Cobra Commander figure.
Yes. How do you feel about it, man?
I like it. I mean, it's definitely got that regal look of the Cobra Commander that we all know and love from the cartoons. I think that the original Cobra Commander that they released with just the second wave is amazing, but I think there's something about like that regal red robe and kind of his scepter and all that other stuff. Like they've been killing it with these accessories, and I feel like these classified series, man, they were kind of under the radar for a while. Everybody was kind of iffy about them because of the scale, and we all know that the 12-inch GI Joes kind of went to shit back in the day, and everybody wanted those 3 3/4-inch ones. So this scale and the detail and everybody was kind of iffy. But man, these things have taken off like wildfire. I mean, you can't find them in the stores. They're sold out of shelves. I've been lucky enough to get the ones that I've gotten, but I'm still missing a few. I mean, it is nuts. And this one is one that I'd like to add to the collection at some point. And I was not able to snag one during PulseCon. I'm not sure if they're still up for or not, but yeah, they're I like it. I think they did a really good job, and I think Hasbro is putting a lot of detail into these figures, and I think the fans are really starting to appreciate kind of the detail and the love that they're getting with G.I. Joe finally.
Yeah, I definitely agree, man. Like, so I haven't really got any of the G.I. Joe stuff. The previous stuff that's come out, like the Baroness. Well, there was a Cobra Commander that came out, and what else came out, Aaron? I know there was the Baroness, the Cobra Commander.
Yes, the first wave was Duke, Scarlet, Snake Eyes.
Yep.
There was 5 of them, and I can't remember the other 2.
Yeah,
and then
I'm trying to remember.
The second wave, 6 and 7, was Gung Ho and Cobra Commander, and then there was 3 Target exclusives, Beachhead. I'm drawing a blank on the other guy, and the Cobra Trooper, and then the Baroness was number 11. So far there's been 11. I want to say, and I think this Cobra Commander would be 12. There was also a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Snake Eyes, which had a bunch of other accessories and a little stand or something, and I think that was number 00. So I think there's 13 of them now.
Wow, I didn't even know there was that many out right now.
Yeah. So the first wave was 5, and then 6 and 7, and then the 4 Target exclusives if you do the Baroness, and then kind of the 2 online ones. Oh, I forgot Pimp Daddy Destro too. That was a GameStop exclusive that Destro has like cheetah print, and that was one in the wave 1, Destro. Yeah, he's got like this cheetah print and this like, I don't know, they call him Pimp Daddy Destro, or it was supposed to be like gun runner Destro or something like that, but the internet went nuts because he just looks, with this cheetah print, he kind of looks like a pimp.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, and speaking of G.I. Joe for the Hasbro PulseCon, like I noticed that what I really loved was the Zartan and the Cobra Infantry Trooper. Yeah. Man, did you see the Zartan and Cobra Infantry Trooper?
I did. You know me, I'm a huge fan of Zartan. That's like one of my favorite figures. So that's going to be one to pick up in the future. So the Cobra Trooper, that was one of the Target exclusives that everybody was going after because, you know, you got to have like, you know, 100 Cobra Troopers to like build up your army, you know, and that kind of stuff. Because, you know, one Cobra Commander and like 20 Cobra Troopers, and that's what people want. They want these bulk Cobra Troopers. Well, the ones at Target, man, I mean, it was nuts. I was lucky. I mean, I was really lucky enough to find one in the wild right at the beginning when they first came out. Then I went to another Target a couple weeks later, and I was lucky enough to pick up 2 more. So I have 3. But those things are going stupid on eBay right now because I guess they're changing the colors, or the one that was released, the Target exclusive that was already released is like the Lieutenant. I guess it's got some armband on it that it's like a rank insignia, and the ones that are going to be released, not the Target exclusives, just the regular run of the mill ones, are not going to have that insignia. So the price of the ones that were released at Target, they're going for like $120 now on eBay.
Jesus Christ, man. Wow. Man, I said it before and I'll say it again. Man, I love being a toy collector.
I love being a toy collector when I can get them for retail. So I was lucky enough to grab 3 of those, and the retail's $20. So, you know, I turned, you know, my collection, you know, right now over a toy that was released in 2020, a $60, you know, investment right now is going for $360.
That is insane, man. This is the world we're living in, man. This is the world we are living in, where toys, you know, it'll go from $20 to, hey, I'll buy you a mansion. You know, but I did love the Retro Classic series. Did you check those out? It was the 3¼ inch line. It was Scarlet, Destro, and Roblox.
Yeah, I like those a lot. The only one I've been able to find in the wild so far was Snake Eyes. I found that at a Walmart a couple weeks ago, and I'd like to get a Baroness, and I'd like to get a Zartan. I think they released Zartan at least. I know the Baroness is out.
Yeah, Zartan is released. I'm on their site right now. I can see him. It's like $20.
Yeah, so you know, I think those lines are cool too, because I mean, you know, I mean, any re-release of the originals are awesome. You know, I mean, like they brought back the Hiss Tank, and they brought back I think it was the Awe Striker, you know, the good guy vehicle and the bad guy vehicle. So, you know, at least you have some sort of playability there. You know, if maybe you're introducing your son or daughter into, you know, G.I. Joe, and I just say good luck to finding them right now, because it's just everybody's after them.
Yeah, man. Everybody wants those Joes, man. But I really do feel like you said Hasbro's doing a great job with the G.I. Joe line, and you know, all the G.I. Joe fans and collectors. At first, I remember when the Classified series came out, G.I. Joe collectors were upset, like, oh, you know, we want the original 3.75 inch scale. Like, we don't want these classified things. You guys are ruining the G.I. Joe line. And then, like, it was a week of that online to, man, these things are the best. Look at the articulation. So, I mean, we're talking about guys that are, you know, in their 40s. I mean, I'm 38 years old right now, but, you know, guys that grew up with G.I. Joe and what they want. And we're talking about even toy collectors who probably haven't collected a toy from G.I. Joe in over 30 years, and then now they come back to toy collecting, and it's a weird thing, because they're coming back and they're noticing, like, hey, how come all these G.I. Joes are off the shelf? How come Target doesn't have more Joes? What is going on here? But, you know, it's not 1988, 1989 anymore, so yeah. We're living in a new world. But I think Hasbro's doing a good job with the G.I. Joe line, and I'm glad that all Go Joe are happy. So yeah, man. So let's get into these Power Rangers Lightning Collection. Now I'm just gonna put this out there. I love Power Rangers growing up. The martial arts fighting was awesome. Jason David Frank, obviously the Green Ranger, was one of my favorites. Stephen Young Bosch, who played the Black Ranger, one of my other favorites. He actually did wushu and kung fu in real life. Same thing with Jason David Frank. And I was a martial artist taking taekwondo at the time, so Power Rangers, growing up with that show, it played a big part in my life. As I got older, I didn't really collect the line so much. I do have a Megazord and a Tiger Zord right now, and I do have Rita, the Rita that can't. I'm sorry, not the Rita, but I have the Lord Zed and the Goldar that came out. And Aaron, I just want to ask you, like, are you a big Power Ranger collector?
Oh yeah. I've been collecting Power Rangers probably for the past, I don't know, at least 10 years. So funny story about that. I was a big Power Rangers fan when I was a kid. Huge. Coming home, I either recorded it, because I had practice, baseball practice or whatever, or, I would run home, turn on the TV, and those afternoon TV shows, it was always watching Power Rangers, especially when they introduced the Green Ranger and the Dragon Zord. I was hooked, man. And my grandma, she would go out and get me the new toys for, I remember getting the Megazord and the Tiger Zord and the Dragon Zord, and I had them all. Well, long story short, Mom and Dad were going through the closets, whatever. Oh, what do you want to keep? What do you want to get rid of? Whatever. And I said, I'll be down, because I was about an hour and a half away from them at the time. I said, I'll be down in a little while. I'll pick up the Power Ranger stuff. Don't worry, I'll pick up the Power Ranger stuff. Well, I guess they got tired of me saying it because I didn't go down and do it. So they had a yard sale, and it's like, oh, let me come down and, pick it up, And I guess some guy saw it in the garage and was like, oh, I'll give you $50 for the Power Ranger stuff. And Mom and Dad said, okay, no problem. And I got there about an hour later, and I said, hey, where's that Power Ranger stuff? And they go, oh, we sold it to a really nice little boy.
Oh, no.
I tell you, Steve, my stuff was mint in box. I played with it. I put it back in the styrofoam. I put it away. It was mint. I mean, it was mint. Long story short, I was able, over the past, 7 years or so, I got all my boxes. I got all my parts. So my Power Rangers collection, I think I need one or two more, like, just boxes to put, the completed figures in, but it's for, like, the Zeo stuff. Like, I have all the originals. I have the second wave, the Dragon Zord, or the Thunder Megazord. Yeah, I have the Thunder Megazord wave. And then I'm just missing a couple boxes for the Zeo wave, and I'm done.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. It does suck that your parents sold your Power Rangers collection. Oh, man, that's like the worst.
It hurts, but it's funny because it's almost like a running joke at this point. Whenever I talk to my mom and dad, I'm like, God, you sold my Power Rangers collection, and they're like, will you let it go? And I'm like, no, I won't. I won't let it go.
You know what's funny? Like, they sell it to some little kid, some 12-year-old, right? You find out where that 12-year-old lives, knock on the door like, hey, kid, give me my Power Ranger stuff. Mom, Dad, there's some 36-year-old.
This was mine when I was a kid. I mean, like Andy and his toys, he wrote on the bottom of the, I should have wrote my initials on the bottom of the Megazord and been like, this is mine, kid, give me back.
I know, right? Oh my God, that's hilarious. No, that's awesome, man. I'm on the line right now, the Hasbro PulseCon internet website, and these figures, you know what, man? Like, I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole. I need to get some of the Lightning collection, like the original Power Rangers that I used to watch, the original OG, the first series. I think these figures look amazing. The articulation. I'm looking at the putty right now. The putty looks awesome. They just released the Rita and Lord Zed marriage. That's what they're calling it online right now, the married 2-pack. Which, in a way, I was like, why couldn't they do that when I ordered Lord Zed like 5-6 months ago? now they thought about adding Rita, in a package with him. But, it's cool, whatever. But yeah, I'm really liking the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. And I don't know, Aaron, I think I'm going to have to go down this Power Ranger rabbit hole, man. So.
Well, like we said earlier in the podcast, you got to have goals and you got to set goals. And, I think like, for me, that was important for me to kind of, recapture that part of my childhood. And, I think Power Rangers, especially, with us, in our mid 30s, I think like that held a special place in our heart. Like that was, I don't know. It caught your imagination. You had these dino zords that could, you could play on your own, and then you combine them almost like a Voltron type, thing. And, that was our Voltron, that was it's just something that you just can't explain. And what you want to talk about a pop culture phenomenon. It was like Spaceballs, the toothpaste. It was Power Rangers, the underwear. Power Rangers, Power Rangers was everywhere. And it was cool. I think, I'm pretty sure we were all a Power Ranger for Halloween at some point, or, you got the sword, or I remember getting Saba, that was the second, when the Green Ranger turned into the White Ranger, and he got the sword with that tiger head and it talked. Man, I got that thing. I was whipping that thing around, when I was probably I had to have been a 12 or 13 or something like that. Man, I thought I was cool as shit, whipping that thing around, and you press the button, it starts talking. And yeah, I don't know. Power Rangers will always hold a special space in my heart.
That's awesome, man. Did you ever catch the Toys That Made Us Power Rangers episode?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I watched that.
Man, what's his name? Zuki Levy? Did he go through, like, that man tried selling that show for years. I didn't know it took him almost 9 to 10 years to sell the concept of that show.
Yeah.
He was just knocking on Hollywood's door until finally the lady from Fox Kids ended up taking a deal, and she believed in it. But man, that guy went through 9 to 10 years of trying to sell that show. And it's funny how, like, for those that haven't seen the Netflix series, The Toys That Made Us, there is a Power Rangers episode which gives you the whole breakdown on how the show came to be, the toys. But, Zuki Levy Saban, which is his company. And by the way, Zuki Levy did a lot of the theme songs that we grew up with. That's something else I didn't even know.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. So, man, Zuki Levy, man, he was part of every kid's freaking childhood.
Yeah, whether you realize it or not, he was definitely a part of our childhood.
Yeah, and I was so gasped when he was the one that did the Inspector Gadget theme song. I was like, wow, this guy has done so much for pop culture and for kids from the 80s and 90s. So definitely check out, for those that haven't seen it, The Toys That Made Us on Netflix, man. But yeah, so that was the Hasbro PulseCon for Power Rangers Lightning Collection, man. I'm definitely going to get down that rabbit hole. Now, we're going to talk into one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite lines. We're going to talk about Ghostbusters. And yes, we are on Halloween. So Hasbro Pulse, they revealed their Ghostbusters Afterlife concepts and toys that were coming out. Now, I just want to put this out there. I am a Ghostbuster fan. Love the movies. Love the universe. Did not love that ladies movie, but I won't even talk about that right now. Love the whole universe and stuff. Now, there was this big thing online with Ghostbuster fans where, because they were making a big deal, Hasbro, like, hey, we got this big reveal. We got Jason Reitman, Ernie Hudson. Hey, man, we got Eric Wright from Ghost Corps here. Man, we're going to have such a great time. We're going to have the band playing, so everybody's getting hype to find out, man, Hasbro, what are you going to show us? Like, what is this that you're going to show us? And then it was just like Jason Reitman showing us the Ecto-1. And there was this huge controversy online where it was like, okay, like, yes, we're going to get the Ghostbusters Afterlife Ecto-1. The Ecto-1 that's on the movie that's kind of like wore down, rust in it, whatever. But I think Ghostbuster fans, they were just expecting like, I don't know, a 1-in-1 scale Ecto 1. And one of the main things that everybody was saying was like, Hasbro, yes, the Ecto 1 looks cool, I'm gonna get it, but you can't fit your Hasbro Plasma Series Ghostbusters inside the vehicle. And that's one of the big controversies right now going on online, is the fact that like you cannot fit your Hasbro Plasma Series figures in it. Now, the issue with that, and Aaron, me and you have spoken about this, is that in order for you to fit those figures in it, you're gonna have to make a 12-inch Ecto 1. It's gonna have to be bigger. And now we know that toy companies, if you make a toy bigger, if you do it to scale, and how many of these you produce, you have to sell these. So Mattel did the Matty Collector line, and they had a what was it? It was the this Ecto 1 that they wanted people to fund, and if they had 300 backers, it was gonna be a huge 1-to-1 scale Ecto, and it flopped. It flopped. They didn't get the backing for it. So, I feel like Hasbro's doing a good job with the Ghostbusters line. Now, when it comes to collecting the guys, I'm not one of those guys that's going to have like, 25 different variations of the 4 Ghostbusters, from like Matty to Diamond to Hasbro. I have some Diamond Select Ghostbusters, the Slime Heroes, and I have my vintage ones. That's all I need. Now, the Hasbro ones, they do look cool. I haven't picked those up, and I haven't picked up the Kenner release line yet. But Aaron, how do you feel about this news where like Jason Reitman showing off the new Ecto 1 Afterlife toy?
Yeah, I heard about that, and I have the Plasma Series figures. My wife and I hunted those down, when they first came out. I thought they were phenomenally well made. I felt like, kind of like with the accessories, the same thing with G.I. Joe, like they did a really good job with those. And I mean, the freaking detail, the detail that went into some of those figures is phenomenal. So I think fans expected, getting an Ecto 1 that you could actually put the figures in. Like you said, the problem with that is it's going to be a $200 piece, I mean, because it's going to be huge. And how many of these are you going to produce? A couple weeks back, I was at Target, and I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I found one of those Millennium Falcons that they released. Now, Steve, I shit you not, this box was probably 3 feet by 4 feet tall and probably a foot thick. I mean, this was the biggest toy box I have seen. They didn't even have shelf space for it. It was just kind of sitting in the middle of an aisle. And I was like, holy shit. And I scanned it just out of curiosity. The thing was $400 or $350 for a Millennium Falcon. But I mean, I shit you not, this thing would probably be a living room table for most people. I mean, it was huge. And could you do everything you've ever wanted with the Millennium Falcon and hide actual like figures in the compartments and all this stuff? Absolutely. And it was phenomenal. But if you want a toy that big, you're going to have to pay $300 to $400. Now, how many of those did they produce? I don't know. Maybe one per store. Who knows? I mean, it couldn't have been more than 2 per store. And so you figure, okay, maybe they produced a couple thousand. But like at $350, how many people are going to buy that, and how many people are going to display it? I don't know. So I think like fans want that, or they say they want that. And then you're only going to have these kind of diehard collectors going to be able to afford it, because the most run-of-the-mill collector isn't going to walk into Target and drop $200 on an Ecto 1. I mean, at least that's just my opinion. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
yeah, you're right. I don't see that. Like, I mean, like, you know how fans are, man. Fans want stuff their way, but when they get it, they're not happy with it. And it's true. It's like, listen, You want an Ecto one that big. You want to fit your plasma series. You want Hasbro to make this, okay? But are you guys gonna walk into a Target or a Walmart and are you gonna dish out $300, $250, $400 for an Ecto one? And like again, like these companies, they're producing these, they gotta make money back, and the tooling and the designers and everybody that takes place to design these things, like people have to get paid. And if these things are just sitting on the shelves at Walmart, let's say like that Millennium Falcon, if nobody buys that and it's just sitting there and it's $400, next thing you know, you go and it's probably like $90.
Yeah.
And that's money that Hasbro just lost on. So, that's why I do feel like sometimes like what companies are doing like NECA and Premium DNA and Super 7, where they're like, hey guys, we're gonna make Castle Grayskull. If you want to back it up, we need like 300 backers. Because at least like that you got 300 people put in this money. You can make 300 of these, and those 300 people can get it. At least that you're making some sort of money into it, and you're not taking a gamble. So that's the good thing that's going on right now with toy companies. Whereas like getting backers because they really want it, it's a good thing. But like, yeah, I'm with you on that, Aaron. I don't see myself paying $250 for an Ecto one. So
I think Hasbro has done that, and I think they're continuing to do it with what is it, the HasLab? The crowdfunded. I think if they did it that way and said, okay, the people that really want this, go ahead and pre-order it, and if we get enough backers, I think that's a smart way to do it, because then the business is guaranteed to make money, or at least break even, and it's a limited run or whatever. It's a one-off. They're not going to produce them for stores. They don't have to pay the distribution fees, because you got to remember, you got to pay distribution fees for these, these big money, big box stores, Target, Walmart, whatever, to sell them. So it is what it is. But getting back to the toys, I mean, I feel like I saw that they released the plasma series. They released the Tully. I thought that was I think that's great. The only complaint I have with that is that when you bought these 6 original plasma series, you could build the demon dogs, the devil dogs, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
That was like their Build-A-Figure. And, I thought that was a really cool thing. Well, I guess people have compared this, the demon dog that comes with Tully, it's the same demon dog that you get. So, like, I feel like Hasbro missed out, and, like, they could have done, like, a different head sculpt or a different body sculpt to make the two look different. Like, okay, here's the Build-A-Figure one, and here's the one that's being released with Tully. I feel like Hasbro kind of missed the mark on that. They just used the same sculpt, the same head, and the same everything, and just packaged it with Tully.
Yeah. I was reading some forums about that. Yeah, Hasbro did miss the mark on that, man. Like, you can't have the same Terror dog, with the same one that people were hunting, and you had to collect, like, and build a figure. Like, at least make a different head sculpt. So I totally believe in that, man. But yeah, man, definitely. Did you see that they're also doing for the Ghostbusters the Kenner original Ghost Popper?
Yeah. And it's funny because, this retro stuff is just, it's crazy. I mean, they released the original retro line, Ghostbusters and Slimer and Stay Puft. And then they kind of released, what was it? It was the Plasma series. Then they released the Ghost Trapper and the PKE meter and all this stuff. But now they're going back to the Ghost Popper. And I mean, that to me, I have my original one, when I was a kid with the little pieces of styrofoam. I think that those are phenomenal toys, and it just kind of, it brings back that nostalgia. I guess it's a different colored blue, so that's the way that they're distinguishing it from the old one. I think the old one was kind of like a darker blue, and this one's kind of like a brighter blue. But
yeah,
I think it's cool when they bring stuff back like that. But I don't know, the cynic in me is like, come up with something original. Stop re-releasing the old stuff. Maybe make a new Ghost Popper, or with all the freaking technology that they had today, put a Ghost Popper with a Nerf gun and make that thing fire like 200 rounds.
I know.
The Ghost Decimator or something. I don't know. Come up with something different. Like, you can still use or reuse old ideas, but you don't have to reinvent the wheel, but just kind of change it a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I still haven't picked up, and I am gonna pick it up, is the Egon Spangler Neutrona one. Yeah, I'm even though I have a proton pack, I'm still gonna pick that up just to display it on my mantle. I just think it looks cool.
I've been reading a lot of freaking cynics about this too. It's not canon. It's not a canon Neutrona wand, because it's like more based off of like the video game where you can like switch the streams, because I guess you can press a couple different buttons, and instead of it'll light up green, or it'll light up red, or it'll light up blue, it'll light up different colors. So everybody's like, oh, it's not official, it's not canon, and it's like, who the hell cares? It looks badass.
Yeah, man. Listen, my proton pack, which weighs like 30 pounds, like does the same thing. Like the guy that did all the electronics on it, like I can switch it into the video game proton pack. So the lights in the back, they go from red to green for the green slime, and then to blue for the boson darts, and then just like the Spangler Neutrona one. And it's like, guys, everybody just calm your tits, okay? Like, it's not the end of the world, just be happy that Ghostbuster fans are getting some cool Ghostbuster stuff right now. All right, let's just all be glad that Hasbro is making a commitment to G.I. Joe, Power Rangers, and Ghostbusters, man. And the next line that we're going to talk about, because I know you're going to get excited, is X-Men. Now, Aaron, I know you love Rogue.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the retro Rogue they're releasing again?
She's thick. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue. If there's a new Rogue figure and it's a vintage Rogue figure, I am all about it.
Yes. I saw it, and the first person I thought about was you. I was like, oh, I know Aaron's getting this Rogue. And for those of you that have not listened to the last podcast, listen to our top 5 female cartoon characters, and you'll know why we're cracking up about Rogue right now. So, yeah, man, I think the line looks cool. I am going to get that Rogue, but I'm definitely going to get that Gambit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gambit looks awesome, man. I've always loved Gambit. What sucks is that I know he was in one of the X-Men movies, but like he was only in it for like 5 to 10 seconds. I think it was like a little bar scene or something, and like it wasn't anything too like crazy, but I think Gambit is like a cool character for the X-Men, and like I don't know, for some reason he's always in the shadows, and I don't know why he hasn't been in an X-Men film yet.
Gambit was by far my favorite X-Men, when I was younger. I think it was just something that he could charge anything he touched, and, maybe because he had a crush on Rogue too. I don't know. I just thought that he was just a badass character, and with that bow staff. I mean, there was rumors a couple years ago, and I don't know if there's, if it's still going in with COVID or whatever, but Channing Tatum was supposed to play him in a one-off Gambit film for an X-Men film.
Channing Tatum was going to play Gambit?
Yeah, and believe it or not, when you looked at pictures side by side, like the facial structure, and like if you like a couple people have kind of made like some mashups, he looked like Gambit. I mean, it was like, but like animated Gambit, not, whatever. It was uncanny, and it was like, okay, like there was a lot of potential there, and I think there still is, but everybody was like, wow, like, first you hear that like, oh, Channing Tatum playing Gambit. No, like, I think it was a really good possibility, and I think if they ever went forward with it, that would be the Gambit that would kind of fit the bill.
Wow, man, I gotta look up pictures of that. That's pretty interesting, man. A Gambit one-off film, I would not mind to watch that, man. I feel like Gambit has been in the and the background, because like we've had Nightcrawler, Wolverine, Cyclops, Storm. Did we get Rogue? I'm trying to think in one of the films. I think she was in one of the.
Well, which films?
The X-Men films.
Like the what is it, Bryan Singer films?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was played by Anna Paquin, the girl from True Blood.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And another character that we didn't really get to see was Jubilee. I feel like Jubilee was another awesome character.
Yeah. Jubilee was kind of like the one that was always like overlooked, and I don't know why. Maybe because it was like, oh, what can you do? I can make fireworks, you know. But I mean, Jubilee was kind of like in the '90s when that, but man, when that theme song hit, I'm just imagining it because I was watching that with my son because it's on Disney Plus.
Oh man.
Like you're just like, oh man, and he was loving it. I mean, we were watching like the Night of the Sentinels and all that stuff, and he was loving it. I mean, it was kind of, we watched it for about 3 weeks, and watched a bunch of episodes, and it's just one of those 90s animated TV shows that just that's gonna last forever.
Yo, you just reminded me, it is on Disney Plus. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the X-Men series because even though it was made for kids, there was a lot of adult themes on that show.
Oh yeah.
Very adult heavy themes on that show.
I feel like that was, our generation, in the 80s and 90s, like there was a lot of hidden things and, hidden themes and very adult kind of, I think we talked about that, when I think it was like one of the first podcasts I was on was, the kind of the backstory of Cobra Commander and like how like, his brother died in a car crash because he was, PTSD and all this other stuff, there was a lot of these themes in the 80s and 90s that like, we grew up with and that kind of molded us into who we are. But when you look back and realize it, you're like, holy crap, that shit's dark. And it would never air on today's television.
Yeah, it would never air, man. It's crazy, man. We grew up in a very different time, but yeah, man, like I'm excited for the X-Men Hasbro Pulse Target exclusive. So if you guys are X-Men fans out there, definitely pick these up and check these out. Now, Aaron, I'm excited about this. And you might laugh, but I'm getting all of them because when Hasbro released this, I lost my tits. Okay, I love Star Wars just like everybody else loves Star Wars, but man, when they released the Black Series Christmas Stormtrooper themes, I was like, I'm getting all of them. Did you see that the Hasbro is gonna release a Black Series Christmas themed Stormtroopers?
No, I didn't. I didn't see those. I'm trying to find them right now.
Oh, you gotta go online right now and check out the pictures for these. These are the Hasbro PulseCon Black Series Christmas themed Stormtroopers. There's a Stormtrooper that looks like Santa Claus. The colors of Santa Claus. One that looks like a candy cane. Listen, man, I am sold. I saw those and I'm like, yep, those are being bought and pre-ordered as soon as they come out. So.
Okay, yeah, I see the Clone Trooper and I see the Sith Trooper.
Yep.
Okay, all right, I got you. Those look really cool. I like those a lot.
Yes, those look really cool, man. And like Christmas time is coming. Right now we're in the Halloween season, but like, you can use those Stormtroopers to decorate your house. You might have a little like Charlie Brown Christmas tree, on top of your table. Why not put some of these little Stormtroopers there? Like mix some Stormtroopers with Charlie Brown. Let it be some fun,
Oh yeah, no, I love the color scheme. I love that they're finally, I mean, this is pure Disney though. Disney's looking for a way to sell stuff that maybe they couldn't sell. Like I know the the red stormtroopers were kind of like the peg warmers. So maybe they recalled all the red stormtroopers and just painted them a little bit green, and now they're repurposing them.
Hey man, let's make some money. Let's just use the same molds, just like in the 80s. Guys, we're gonna do everything we did in the 80s. We're gonna do it again. So
here's a new paint scheme.
Yeah. Hey, same thing, new paint scheme. All right, get to it. Let's go. Chop. Let's make some money, man.
Yeah.
But no, man, I think they look awesome, man. I think they look amazing. And like I said, man, like you can take these out every Christmas time. Maybe you want to do a little Christmas themed decoration with the stormtroopers, man. I think they look awesome, and I still don't have a Mandalorian figure. Still trying to get a Mandalorian figure. Love the show. I think the new season premieres at the end of October again. Looking forward to it, man. But yeah, I think the Star Wars Black Series, I haven't really dabbled too much into them yet, but definitely got to get the Stormtroopers. Definitely got to get myself a Mandalorian, man. So what about you, Aaron? Do you have any of the Black Series?
I have a few. I was able to get the Mandalorian when it came out, but that was sheer dumb luck. I don't even know how I stumbled across it. I was on the internet one night, and it was like, oh, Target exclusive, Mandalorian figure coming out tomorrow. And I was like, okay. And the week prior, I was at the Disney store, and they said, oh, yeah, the Black Series, we're all coming out with like these special edition, first edition white boxes. And I was like, oh, okay. So for whatever reason, I just got off of work that morning and stopped by Target, and I was able to get the carbonized Mandalorian figure.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I went to, like, nobody even thought about it, because it was kind of like that group of guys, that the 35 to 45-year-old guys freaking action figures. And all of a sudden I said, hey, not for nothing, one of the guys I was talking to, because everybody was searching for the white boxes, because it was supposed to be the first edition of these, the Black Series figures.
Right.
And I said, not for nothing. I said, I heard that the Disney store is going to have these in stock. Like, obviously they're produced by Disney, whatever. So I went over there, and I was able to get a white box Mandalorian, and it was the last one. And one of the guys I was walking with, was like, well, I want a set. And I said, look, I gave you the tip on this place, because they had the whole set with the exception of the Mandalorian. They only had one left, and that was the one that I grabbed. And I said, I gave you the tip, so you can take all the other ones, but I just want the Mandalorian. So I walked out with the two that I wanted, and he walked out with a whole set minus the Mandalorian. So
that is awesome, man. And it's funny, you can tell who toy collectors are. Hey, there's a guy who's like 35 to 45 years old over there wearing a He-Man shirt. Yep, he's probably a toy collector. That is hilarious. But yeah, man, I think the Black Series stuff is looking pretty well. I am gonna pick these up. And for those listening, man, if you love Star Wars and you love Christmas, then definitely pick up these Stormtroopers, man. I think they look awesome, and I'm definitely gonna pick those up, man. But the last thing we're gonna talk about here, and Aaron, me and you, for those listening, we also have our other show called The Toy Aisle, where we go deep into the history of certain toy lines, and we've been doing Transformers, going deep into that rabbit hole. Did you see the Hasbro PulseCon Beast Wars Transformers?
Yeah, and I was always a fan of Beast Wars. I think that those figures were some of the best that, Transformers came out with, going into these animal figures, like, you got the freaking T-Rex Megatron and the Gorilla Optimus Prime, and I've always loved those, and I think that it was smart of them to bring those back.
Yeah, they look pretty cool. I was at the flea market, and I did find the Optimus Prime, who's a gorilla, and I found the Megatron, who's a T-Rex, the vintage ones. But the T-Rex was missing his the Megatron head, and the Optimus Prime Gorilla, which I know you've seen him a couple times already at Dave's table.
Yeah.
He just needed a lot of help. He had to go to the VA and just get his medications to get better. But yeah, man. So I didn't end up getting those, but I think I'm gonna end up getting these, man. Just like the Megatron and the Optimus, and a lot of people don't like the rat, but for some reason I love the fact that there is a Transformer out there who's a rat and can transform. So I am gonna pick those three up. So
yeah.
So they definitely look good, man. So yeah, Hasbro PulseCon, man. I mean, we got from Transformers to G.I. Joe to Star Wars to Power Rangers to Ghostbusters, man. Hasbro is giving it to all us old men who are in our mid 30s to late 30s, all of us 80s kids who grew up with these toy lines, man. This is where we're at right now, and Hasbro is giving it to us all, man. And I'm excited with everything that's happening now in the toy world. There's just so many options from NECA, from the Turtle line, from Super 7 doing Turtles. Premium DNA got their Barnyard Commandos that you can pre-order. Each figure is $35. Pixel Dan just had one of the creators and one of the co-owners of Premium DNA. He was showing some of the sculpts and some of the figures, and man, those Barnyard Commandos, the new ones that are coming out, are so huge next to the old ones. And there's I think if I'm not mistaken, he said 28 points of articulation starting from the hooves. And I'm not gonna lie, man, I'm gonna pick one of these up, man. I'm not gonna get the whole set. The whole set's $145 or 140, but I will pick up one. And also this month they're gonna start their Battletoads, and I cannot wait to see what Premium DNA has in store for Battletoads. Aaron, are you gonna be picking up any of these Battletoads from Premium DNA?
The Battletoads are definitely more enticing to me than the Barnyard Commandos. The Barnyard Commandos are cool. I don't know. I think I like the one that comes with all the accessories. What is it? I'm looking at the website now. Corporal Hyanda Hog or whatever. That cool because he's got like a turret that's in an old tire, and he's got these pieces of garbage and looks like maybe some pistons or stuff from a junkyard. That one looks really cool to me. I might pick up that one. The one that just kind of comes with the hay bale, it just kind of looks a little, basic, and the sheep looks a little basic, but I think like I don't know, maybe they haven't released all the accessories that they're going to come with yet, but I think the accessories are what's going to make these figures pop. But the Battletoads, that when they said the Battletoads, that definitely caught my ear. I'm not one to. I haven't bought a lot of indie figure, or I don't know what you would call independent toy company figures, like DNA. I haven't bought a lot of those. I've kind of stuck with like the main lines, but anything that's like retro video game, like I got a Crash Bandicoot figure a couple weeks back from Dave, and that to me it's that sense of nostalgia. So when you can find those like Battletoads figures, or see what they look like, I'm sure they'll have the different colors, and stuff like that, and it'll be interesting to see kind of what ideas they come up with. Yeah,
I'm with you on that. Definitely we grew up with Battletoads. Definitely very excited to see how the figures are gonna look like. And from what I heard, they're doing a ton of these, from the villains to the good guys. They're going deep into the Battletoads line. And speaking of video games, let's get into this whole controversy with the PS5 button change. Aaron, have you heard what's going on right now with this?
Yeah, they're changing the circle button and the X button, I believe.
Yes. So for everybody listening right now, if you are a video gamer, retro game collector, or you're a video game enthusiast, so in Japan, when the Sony PlayStation came out, X was for cancel, circle was to confirm, triangle was for camera, and square was for map/information. So those were the buttons that they were used for in Japan. Now, when the PlayStation came here to us, to the US, X was confirmed and circle was canceled, which is the opposite in Japan. So for some reason, and I don't understand why they're doing this now, Sony is like, hey, you know what? We're going to change the buttons from Japan the same as the buttons from the USA. And everybody is just losing it right now. Here's the thing. Why did you guys wait from 1996 or 95 when the PlayStation came out? Why did you wait so long to now confirm that Sony wants to change the buttons, the same X and circle that are here in the US, they want to change it in Japan? And what I'm hearing from gamers is that, well, you know, now when you buy a Japanese game, it's going to go back. The buttons are mixed up, whatever. But in my mind, I'm like, yeah, but when you buy a video game, you have the options to change the settings, your control settings. You can configure the control settings. I know some people in Japan are not happy, but I don't know. People are going crazy. I heard one gamer online say, oh, it's only going to take me 5 minutes to get used to it. And I'm just like, guys, everybody calm down. We're talking about 2 buttons, okay? If you don't like it, I'm pretty sure that you can configure it. Go back to the original. Aaron, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, so I kind of it is kind of weird because it's the same controller, right? Like, it's the same controller that they've stuck with for, the past, since 1995. The controller for the PlayStation has not changed much other than adding the dual analog, sticks and the second bumper, at some point. It hasn't changed very much. But I read a good article on this, and when you think of Nintendo, if you took a picture of Nintendo's controllers since 1985, they've changed drastically. Now, from the NES to the Super Nintendo to the N64 to the GameCube, which people still revere as the best controller ever made, the GameCube controller, even though it's such an obscure shape, it fits the palm your palms perfectly in the button layout and everything, and people still use those controllers in Smash Brothers tournaments and stuff. Now you look at the Wii and the Switch controller, you're gonna learn the new buttons. Yes, it's gonna suck. Yes, you're gonna get frustrated. Hell, I get frustrated now with some games because in some games, circle is confirmed and X is, cancel, or whatever. But I think as long as the game companies realize that is going to be a point of contention, like you said, then just put in button mapping in the game. I mean, in every Call of Duty game right now, you can pretty much map your buttons or change your layouts, or there's 4 or 5 different preset controller layouts that are already built into the game. And I feel like, once you get used to that, it's just going to be something else. I really wish if Sony was going to change it up and say, okay, we're going to change 2 buttons, well, then change the whole damn controller and make it something new. And then that way you don't have these arguments. But people say that, yet the PlayStation 5 sold out everywhere. You can't find them. The pre-orders are gone. If you want to pre-order, you better go on eBay, and you're going to pay double or triple the asking price. I mean, I'm going to bitch about a button, but yet I'm still going to go out there and buy the console. It's stupid. I think that you're going to get used to it. It's going to be fine. Just move on.
Yeah, I'm on you, man. And people were just losing it on lines. I heard some people saying, oh, I'm not going to support Sony. Guess I'm crossing over to Microsoft. And I'm like, okay, guys, it's 2 buttons. And like you said, Aaron, it's not like when you buy Call of Duty and stuff, you can't map out your buttons to how you want to use them. Just relax. It's not the end of the world. But I do agree with you, Aaron, when it's like, why did they wait since 1995 to the year 2020 to do this? That's the only thing what I don't understand is Sony, why are you waiting now? It's been what, 34, 32 something, or 24, 25 years? right now, and you're waiting this long to change the button now. I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe it's something that has to do with their promotion for the PS5, or they're just trying to get like everybody riled up. But that's what's going on with the PlayStation 5 right now. Anyways, so we are in Halloween, and before we leave today, we're gonna do our top 5 movies that scared us as kids. But before we get into the top 5 movies that scared us as kids, Aaron, I just want us to share like Halloween memories of things that either we remember doing during Halloween, or like movies that or TV shows or movies, or just things trick or treating. Like what are some of your fondest memories of just being a kid in Halloween?
I mean, it had to have been the costumes, especially as a kid. I mean, I had one of those Ghostbusters jumpsuits, and I remember walking around with my proton pack with the foam and my PKE meter, and all of the kind of role play toys that they came out with in the 80s, anyways. And it was very simple to just go to the store and get a jumpsuit, and there was your Halloween costume, or I think I was a skeleton one year, or and I know I had the Ninja Turtle role play toys, and I was a Ninja Turtle one year. I mean, I think to me it was just that kind of just 80s nostalgia. I mean, like, we had so many good shows in the 80s, and you could pick and choose. You could be He-Man, or you could be, G.I. Joe. I think I was a G.I. Joe one year. I mean, you could be Mask. You could be whatever. And there was just so many different, avenues. And I think Halloween just kind of had that special place because you already were playing with the toys. You already were playing, role playing, with these action figures and these play sets and these, life size, proton packs as a kid at the time, and it just added to that kind of like, okay, this is me at 365 days a year anyways. Let me dress up, and show everybody what I'm kind of into on Halloween. That was at least my memories of it. I mean, I loved it because I had a lot of those like costumes as a kid, if you would.
Yeah, man, it's funny that you mentioned costumes being a kid, because one of the most like everybody that I knew was a Ninja Turtle. Because again, like Ninja Turtles was big growing up, and it's funny because our costumes were cheaply done. It was like that mask, that plastic mask with the string. You put it on, and then it was like a little paper kind of like bib thing that you put over yourself. It wasn't anything too elaborate, but like I just remember as a kid, like, man, I want to be a Ninja Turtle for Halloween, man, because Ninja Turtles was it. And I remember my mom bringing me to like Kmart and Ames and Caldor and all these old places, man. And it's like, man, Mom, I want to be Donatello, just going crazy over it. And another memory that I have of being a kid for Halloween was, and Aaron, we grew up in an era where every TV show had a Halloween episode back in the 80s and in the 90s. And like TGIF during Halloween, it's like every show, like from Urkel to Boy Meets World to just like all these shows that we remember growing up as kids had all these Halloween specials. And it's like, and that's how it was for every like holiday. Thanksgiving and Christmas was like, oh my God, it's Halloween. What is Urkel gonna do to Laura this year? Like, oh my God, I was like so excited, like what's gonna happen. So yeah, I don't know if you remember some of the shows back then doing the Halloween specials.
Oh yeah, it was Step by Step. It was Family Matters. It was like you said, Boy Meets World. Yeah, one of the Halloween ones. Now this is probably later. This is definitely in the 90s. I was definitely either a preteen or a teenager. One of the Halloween episodes that stuck with me for years and still to this day was Salute Your Shorts and their Halloween episode. I don't know if you've ever watched that one or not,
Yes.
but Ugg dresses up like Zeke the plumber or whatever.
Yeah.
that episode, for whatever reason, that stupid mask and he talks like yeah, he's like, and it was just that weird freaking mask and that plumber, and it creeped me out as a kid. And I mean, Are You Afraid of the Dark was always on, and I mean that show was very interesting, and that was like a Halloween theme year round, but they had a couple Halloween episodes. But yeah, I think, like you said, there was always something to look forward to, whether it was the Disney Halloween, or I think when Hocus Pocus first came out, that was kind of like a staple every, Halloween that was on, ABC Family or whatever. Addams Family was big for me when I was a kid. I loved Addams Family. I just actually watched it with my son, and he loved it the other day. The original one with the original movie, I should say, not the original show, but with Raul Julia and Christina Ricci and all of them. And I think that was kind of like another one of those staples. Beetlejuice. I can't tell you how many times I watched Beetlejuice, even the animated series. I loved that. I mean, I wish that they would bring that back.
Yeah, you know what's funny that you just mentioned? One thing that scared me as a kid, and you just mentioned it, and this will always stick to me as an adult, and it's on Disney Plus. It's the Disney Halloween. And I remember like 1990, 1991, when I first saw this, and it will play almost every Halloween, and it still to this day gives me chills for some reason. And it's it was the Ichabod Crane, Headless Horseman for Disney. The old cartoon. I don't know what it is. Disney, their old animation, there's some dark tones to it. And I remember like one Halloween, it was like 1990, man. And I'm sitting in the living room and I'm watching Disney Halloween on the old CRT TV. It comes up on ABC. And it's Mr. Toad, because it was like a two-parter. It was Mr. Toad, and then it was Ichabod Crane. The Mr. Toad thing was whatever. Then like Ichabod Crane comes up, and it's, this... For those that have not seen the Ichabod Crane Headless Horseman, and if you have Disney Plus, check it out, man. And, Ichabod Crane was this guy that was living in town, and he was a cheerful guy, kind of like clumsy, whatever. So I'm watching this as a kid, and I'm like, there's nothing scary about this. Then there's that scene where he's walking with his horse, and his horse is like, very scared too. And they get to the bridge, and then you see the Headless Horseman standing there with no head. And man, that cartoon, even to this day as an adult, is still as my mind as like one of the things that just scared me as a kid.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, I don't know, till this day it's on there. And another thing growing up is remember how we grew up in like 91, 92, and they were saying about like, hey, ABC News, we just found out that people are putting glass in candy when they're trick-or-treating, and there was that whole like trick-or-treating, people putting stuff in candy. I don't know if you went through that with your parents.
Oh yeah, we had to dump out the candy each year, and if anything was open, or the weird wrapped lollipops or whatever, we had to do that. And I still do that with my son. I mean, you don't know, there's weird people in this world. Or somebody, I think it was, they were putting it in apples. I don't know why people were handing out apples in the 80s, but people get apple and they put a piece of glass in the apple or something, and it was just nuts. But yeah, I mean, there's weird freaking people, and I mean, like the people that I don't understand is the people, oh, well, here's pretzels, give me some damn I don't want no freaking pretzels, cheese puffs or whatever else. Go to the store, buy some damn candy, and I saw this meme, because I don't know if, trick-or-treating is going to happen this year or not because of COVID, but I saw this meme and I posted it on Facebook the other day, and it's a guy in like this face shield, and he's got a Nerf gun, and it's all loaded with freaking candy. And I was like, that's a great idea. Just load, like, I thought of it like a slingshot. All right, I'll put a piece of candy in the slingshot. You stay in the street, I'll launch it to you. Let the kids trick or treat, because I mean, that's one thing that you look forward to, but you could still socially distance. I think somebody else said, sit in your front lawn, and as the kids walk by, just throw candy at them.
Oh man, you just knock out a kid with like a Snickers bar from across the street.
It's like when you're at the golf course or, the driving range and you're trying to hit the guy driving the cart. You just try to hit the kids as they're walking by.
That is hilarious, man. You know what I used to hate? When you used to go trick-or-treating and you got those people that give the cheap old elderly candy, which is the candy corn or the little marshmallow orange peanuts. Those were the two candies that I hated the most as a kid. The candy corn, I could not stand candy corn, and I could not stand those damn marshmallow peanuts, man. Like, I'm like, why are people buying this cheap candy? Give me the M&Ms, give me the Snickers, give me a sugar rush. I'm a kid.
Yeah. So I love circus peanuts as a kid. I don't know why. I haven't really eaten them much as an adult, but as a kid, that was like my go-to. So I would have been happy with the circus peanuts. But candy corns were never my favorite. But I hate Tootsie Rolls, man. Tootsie Rolls, like Tootsie Roll Pops. No, thank you. Like,
I hate Tootsie Rolls too.
Give me a blow pop, that's fine. Give me gum, whatever. But Tootsie Rolls, ugh. Like, I was like, nope. Like, if you're gonna go for cheap candy, just buy Smarties.
Yeah, there we go.
Like, I think everybody can agree Smarties are kind of one of those, like, staples that will, last the tale of time. But I don't know. Tootsie Rolls and like the pretzel ladies, here, have some pretzels. I will say though, when I went trick-or-treating a couple of years ago with my son, because I don't know, I don't remember kids having nut allergies or, I'm trying to think, the bread allergy, whatever it is, gluten free. I will say I got to give kudos to this lady because she went above and beyond, and like I thought this was better than a full-size Snicker. She was giving out Hot Wheels cars.
What?
Yeah. So she went to the store, bought like 100 Hot Wheels cars. So, they're 99 cents. So she had to have spent a good $100. Instead of giving out candy, she gave out Hot Wheels cars because she didn't want, kids with gluten allergies or, peanut allergies or whatever. She wanted everybody to be included. Nice little lady. My son, we walked by the house and she was still, out there, and she's like, I'm going inside, take a few. My son got like 2 or 3 Hot Wheels cars. And he was ecstatic. That was what he played with, on Halloween. And I thought that was a great idea. Granted, it's expensive if you're giving out 100 of them, but like, maybe if you're giving out 25, 30, if you don't have a big neighborhood, buy a Hot Wheels car. I was shocked. And I was like, I would have been thrilled as a kid if I got a Hot Wheels for Halloween.
That is awesome. Kudos to that lady, man. I would have been ecstatic if I would have got a Hot Wheels car as a kid. That's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, I thought it was just an interesting take because she didn't, you have these parents that are coming up, oh, well, my son's gluten-free. Do you have anything gluten? Oh, my son has a peanut allergy or my daughter has a peanut allergy. And she was like, screw that. I just want the kids to have fun. Here's a Hot Wheels car.
That is awesome, man. That's awesome, man. Again, man, that lady, man, you just made a kid's Halloween special by giving him in the car. And you never know, that kid might keep that Hot Wheels car till he gets older, or he might give it to his son. So that's definitely something cool, man. And before we end the episode, we're going to end with our top 5. And I'm excited about this because Aaron came up with this concept of doing top 5s. So we're going to end with our top 5, and it is Halloween, and we're getting spooky. So we are going to say our top 5 movies that scared us or terrified us as kids. And man, I got my top 5 ready, and these are the top 5 movies that scared me as a kid. And sometimes till this day, I might get scared here and there, but as an adult right now, they don't scare me as much. But as a kid, I was petrified. Aaron, do you have your list?
I do.
All right, awesome. So, why don't you read off your top 5, actually? Let's go with you first. I want to hear what was the top 5 thing that scared you as a kid.
You just want me to run through the list and why?
Yeah, you can. Let's run through your whole list. I want to hear that.
All right, so number 5 for me was The Thing. it was an older movie. A lot of these movies, I feel like they came out, well, like at least the first two, they came out a little earlier than me, but like they were always like either on TV or, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, USA, like when USA was like on TV, like they played some like real horror movies. Like I remember watching a lot of horror movies on USA, and I was a young kid, you know, I mean, because that was like one of the 10 channels that we got or whatever. But alas, you know, number 5 for me was The Thing. Kurt Russell, 1982. That movie kind of freaked me out because of the kind of the shape shifting aspect of like this thing could just look like anybody, and then it turns into like this big freaking, I don't even know how to describe it, like, you know, just pops out of somebody's stomach and kills somebody. But it was almost like they didn't know who it was, you know, and they're in like this Arctic expedition, and they're trying to like discover, you know, new things, and all of a sudden you know, they can't trust anybody because you know, this this shape-shifting freaking, you know, killing machine is like, I don't know. And so I don't know, that was like one of those movies that was on TV that like I watched and I was like, okay, you know, and as a kid you're like, so does that mean that somebody's not really who they say they are? You know?
I remember that scene too, and the practical effects when the guy's head turns into that monster, or like the guy's chest, stomach has like a mouth. Yeah, that the thing. Yeah, that movie scared me as a kid.
It's funny because you know, a current, you know, new, like, I don't know if you've seen the game Among Us that everybody's playing online. You know, and it's all about, you know, it's like you play with a group of friends. Have you seen that game yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so it's kind of swept the nation by storm. And basically you have, you know, a group, I think it's like you could have like 6 or 8 people, and you go around and do tasks, but 2 people are imposters. And basically these 2 people are like the thing, like they have this thing that pops out of their stomach and it slashes them and it kills them. And then when people discover a body in the game, you kind of like deliberate and figure out who did it. And so like you have to basically vote somebody out, or, you know, it's almost like Survivor. Like, you know, if you have to get enough people to get voted out, and then, you know, if you vote out the wrong person, it'll tell you whether you voted out an imposter or you voted out a crew member. And so it's kind of funny because a lot of people are comparing it to this film, The Thing, like this was the original Among Us game.
That's awesome. No, I'm gonna have to check that out. That's pretty awesome, though.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot. I haven't played it myself, but I watch a lot of YouTube videos on it, like Offline TV. They have a lot of content creators, and they play Among Us all the time, and they're really funny to watch because, you know, the imposters have to basically convince that it's not them, it's somebody else, and kind of the blame game, and it's a lot of fun. So that was my number 5. Number 4 for me was the original It, Stephen King's It.
Ooh,
I don't know.
That's a good one.
Something about Tim Curry as Pennywise, like that just freaks me the hell out, you know? Like just how all of a sudden he goes from this like nice looking clown to having these sharp teeth, and the situations that they were put in. I mean, this was the 80s. I mean, that terrified the shit out of me. And, you know, you see this clown and, you know, it's just like, I always didn't really like clowns as a kid. I mean, like if I go to a carnival, it doesn't bother me, but like, you know, it's just something about them. Like there's some creepy ass clowns, and like, but Tim Curry, fantastic role, you know, brilliantly cast. But man, just that face when all of a sudden that mouth opens and he looks like Jaws teeth, you know, it's like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that movie petrified me, and for a while I was scared of clowns. And I remember watching the first It on USA, and it was like a 2-day 2-parter, man. Oh my God! So I agree with you on that one, Aaron.
Yeah, and I think there was a scene like where like his arms like extended or something and like wrapped around the kid, and I'm like, nope, I'm good. Like maybe I'm confusing 2 movies, but no, like there's just like. No. So that was my number 4. Number 3 was Leprechaun.
Ooh.
I love Warwick Davis.
Yes.
As Willow. I loved him as Wicket the Ewok, even though you don't see him actually playing Wicket the Ewok. He was inside the suit.
Right.
Willow was probably one of my all-time favorite movies as a kid. But something about his portrayal in Leprechaun, that freaking face and those prosthetics and that evil smile and that evil laugh, man, just freaked me the hell out. I remember I was over at a friend's house, and I think it was like, I don't know. I was probably 10 or 11, and he was watching Leprechaun, and I was like, what? Like, I was freaked out. I was like, this little guy's gonna haunt my fucking dreams forever. But yeah, no, I don't know. They did a really good job with, those prosthetics, and I can still, like, to this day, just picture, Warwick Davis and that eerie, creepy smile that you see on the cover of the VHS. Like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, you know what? That movie was good. I just hated the sequels, but I will agree the first one was a classic and scary.
Wasn't there like Leprechaun in the Hood or something like that?
Yeah, Leprechaun in the Hood. I'm just like, okay, what's next? Leprechaun becomes a rapper? Like, oh, God.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, oh, look, there's even there was a sequel to that, Leprechaun Back to the Hood.
Oh, my God. Yes, can we... Okay, you know what's next, right? Leprechaun in space. Let's say Jason X in space. They have to go to space next. Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I mean, I shouldn't even have Googled it, because now I see that freaking picture and I'm like, nope, I'm good. Number 2 was The Shining. I think that was always on like Encore for me when I was a kid, and I would always turn to it. And, that scene where that girl's in the bathtub and you're like, oh, this is kind of cool. Well, as a kid, it's like, oh, look, a little bit of nudity. And then all of a sudden she turns into that old hag, and, like, no. And I think just the part where Jack Nicholson is chasing them through like that ice maze at the end.
Yes.
Like, and just kind of like how freaking terrifying that was. Like, it's just like you're just lost in that maze, and I don't know, that movie still to this day just strikes like that chord with me about how somebody can go so insane, so over a course of time, and somebody that you love and care for just goes freaking nuts because of the environment.
Oh, that's a creepy. Yes, I will agree. That's a good number 2, Aaron. So,
and then my last one, then this still to this day, I hate this movie. If this movie comes on TV, I turn it off. I don't like it. It's just something about it. Even if I see a good guy doll, or what was it, My Buddy doll? Nope.
Yes.
Child's Play. I think it was Child's Play 2, because that was probably the one that I was on TV at the time. I remember my dad was watching it. I was like 6 or 7, maybe even 5. And that movie came on, and freaking Chucky came to life, and those freaking, the way that they made those facial expressions on that doll, and just that evil, walking around with the freaking butcher knife, man, something about that to this day. If I see a Chucky doll, if it's like the newer one, like, it's okay, like the one where he's all stitched up and whatever, like the Bride of Chucky or Chucky Returns.
Right.
What, like the newer ones, like I find those hilarious.
Yeah,
like,
same here.
I actually enjoy watching those, but the original, like Child's Play 1, 2, 3, no, like those to this day. Like, if you bought a good guy doll or a freaking Steve, I would throw that thing in the dumpster. Like, no,
you throw it in a dumpster, then it appears on your porch the next day.
Oh man, no. That, like, I would move. Like, I would. There's no way. Like, it's just something about those. Like, even like Cabbage Patch dolls, they remind me too much of that. Like, it's something that to this day, like, that's like my number one. I can't. It scares the hell out of me.
Well, you know what's funny? Your number 1 is on my list. Your number one is on my list. So, and it almost became my number one. So, and for all the same reasons you just said, but man, Aaron, that was a good top 5 scary movies that scared you as a kid. And I am definitely going to agree 100% about Chucky, because Jesus fucking Christ. Like, that shit scared me as a kid, man. So, it's okay. So let me go through my top 5 real quick here. So for my top 5, Hellraiser. There was something about the Hellraiser film when you saw Pinhead, and I remember watching, I think it was Hellraiser 1. It was the because for those that never seen Hellraiser, the premise and the plot real quick is this guy who was dead, who was a brother of somebody that was living in that house before. He was buried in there. His body was there. Some blood starts dripping and his corpse starts coming alive. But I guess he opened up Pandora's box. And anyways, there was a scene where all these hooks just start hooking on him and tearing his skin apart, man. And that petrified me as a kid, man. And it's funny because in that scene, it almost looked like a dark hallway. And after that movie, I had a hard time walking dark hallways, man.
Yeah.
I did not want to walk around a dark hallway, man. Hellraiser scared me to death, man. That is why Pinhead, Hellraiser, you are number 5 on my list. Now, number 4 is Friday the 13th. Now, the reason why this movie scared me as a kid was it wasn't so much Jason Voorhees, but it was the fact that it all took place at a campsite. And why was that the scariest part of me? Because one summer at 8 years old, my mom decides to send me and my older brother to this camp called Camp Agassiz, which I think was in New Hampshire back in 1990, 1991. And all I can remember was, hey, man, I got to use the bathroom. Oh, yeah, just go outside by the stall out there. And it was in the woods. And all I can think of was, oh, my fucking God, somebody's going to smash my head open right now. Yeah, man, that is why Friday the 13th petrified me as a kid. Because of freaking Camp Agassiz, my mom sending me and my older brother there and thinking Jason was going to come out and just stick a fucking hot pike up my ass. So...
Well, unless you were having sex in the middle of the woods, Jason wasn't going to bother you because he only attacked, teenagers having sex.
Oh, well, thank God I was just a kid back then. So I guess I was saved with that. I guess
Camp Silver Lake.
So that was my number 4. For my number 3 was Return of the Living Dead. Okay. I saw this movie on USA, and when I saw the dead rising from the grave, from their gravestones, and it's funny, when I was a kid and the Michael Jackson Thriller video would come on, I was like 7 or 8 years old, I would run out the room crying like a little girl. Somebody better put on 2 Pampers on me because it was that intense. When I saw that movie, Return of the Living Dead, every time my mom would drive by a cemetery, in my head, I was just like, oh my God, what if these zombies wake up and eat our brains? I couldn't, as a kid, be next to a cemetery. And it's funny because my mom had a friend that lived across the street from a cemetery. And every time we went to visit, I was just like, can we please leave? Can we please leave? Can we please leave? Especially if it was thundering, because in my head, I'm like, we're about to get eaten, man. We got to get the fuck out of here. So yeah, Return of the Living Dead was my number 3. For my number 2, Aaron, you just mentioned it, Child's Play. This was going to be my number 1, but it became my number 2. Child's Play terrified me. And Aaron, can you believe that my mom brought me to the movie theaters with her cousin to watch this film? The original Child's Play. I went to the theaters in 1988 with my mom and my cousin, 88, 89, to watch this movie. I had to be at least 7 years old. Why would you bring a 7-year-old to watch a freaking toy coming alive killing people? And I remember after watching that movie, I could not sleep. I was crying. I had to run into my mom's bed. Then it got worse because that summer of 89, 90, I went to go to one of my mom's friend's house, and we stayed over in the night, and I was playing Nintendo. And I remember the game. It was TNC Surf. And my mom says, hey, you're going to sleep in this room because his sister's not here. So this is where you're sleeping tonight. Guess what she had in the room? A My Buddy doll.
Yeah, the good guy doll.
There was no way in hell I was sleeping in that room, not with that My Buddy doll staring at me. So Chucky, to this day, the original vintage Chucky, Child's Play 1 and Child's Play 2, anything with a doll coming alive petrifies me. So that is my number 2. And for my number 1, Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, let me tell you why this is my number 1, because Freddy Krueger, everybody has to go to sleep at night. Everybody has to go to sleep at night. And the thing about Freddy is that once you go to sleep and you enter his world, that's it, man. He can turn into whatever he wants. He can do whatever he wants to you. And I remember being 9 years old on USA again, watching Nightmare on Elm Street 1, 2, and 3. It was like an anthology, and I could not fall asleep because all I kept thinking about was Freddy was going to come at me in my dreams, to the point where me and my older brother shared a bedroom together. I had to fall asleep with him in the same bed. And he was like, dude, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm just scared, man. I'm just scared, man. Like, I had to sleep with my older brother in the same bed because I could not get any sleep. And I'm sorry, Chucky is scary. He's a doll. But there's just something about that. You got to get sleep. You have to go to sleep sooner or later. And you don't want to fall asleep because you don't want that 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. Oh, my God. So, yes. Freddy Krueger, you are my number 1. Nightmare on Elm Street for my top 5 scary movies that scared us as kids. Man, Aaron, this was a great episode. We went through the Hasbro PulseCon. We talked about the PS5 button exchange. We talked about our Halloween memories and our top 5 scary movies, man. And I don't know, man. So what are you going to do for Halloween before we sign off here?
I don't know. I mean, it's weird. Up in New Hampshire, where I'm at right now, the numbers, with COVID are starting to creep up a little bit. I know Nashua, they're starting to, creep up, Merrimack, the Manchester area. So I don't know. I mean, with schools returning and them going back to school, the numbers are going up. But I got to think, everybody normally wears a mask anyways, on Halloween. You're not really interacting with people. The only thing that I could think people would be afraid of is like if somebody's infected in their house and they're handing out candy that, the candy's going to get infected. But I don't know. I feel like you could leave a bowl outside, and if everybody does the proper thing, which 99% of people will do the proper thing, and then 1% of people won't. If you left the bowl outside of your door and say, please take a piece of candy, so at least the kids can trick or treat, and walk around with their friends or whatever. I feel like that would be the nice thing. But you're going to get those teenagers that are walking around and they're going to grab the whole damn bowl and dump it into their pillowcase, and then they're going to do that at every house. So I don't know. I feel like I want to be safe, but I also don't want to lose spirit of, the fun of Halloween and the joy that Halloween brings us, because I think, like we talked in previous episodes, you're trying to cling on to something. Anything that brings you happiness right now, you want to cling on to that. So I feel like I really want to go trick-or-treating, and I really want to do something, but even if it's just, my family at the house and I go to the store and get a bunch of candy and we watch a kids, movie special like Scooby-Doo Halloween or something like that, I feel like we'll still make the best of it. But if we don't go trick-or-treating, because of COVID, I feel like, it's going to miss out. It's going to suck, but it's going to be for the best. And, just protect you and yourself and your loved ones. And I think if we miss Halloween one year, it's not going to be the end of the world, but it's, you have to try to make it the best Halloween that you can make it with your family.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. As for me, I think I'm going to continue watching horror movies and, just enjoying the season. And, hopefully, things get back to normal. And, next year we can have a normal Halloween and everybody can have fun. And, all the theme parks will be open and, towns will be having their regular Halloween. So I want to thank everybody out there for listening to another episode of our spooky Halloween episode of the Cereal Box Prize Podcast. You can find us on Anchor.fm, and once you go on Anchor.fm, you can catch us on all the other links that will lead you to all the links where our podcast is being uploaded to. Catch us on YouTube at Cereal Box Prize Podcast. Also follow us on Facebook at Cereal Box Prize Podcast, and we just started an Instagram page, and that's Cereal Box Prize Podcast. And I just want to thank my co-host Aaron Nelson for providing us with another great show. Aaron, thank you.
It's always a pleasure, man, and I can't wait to do our next one. And hopefully, everybody continues to stay safe and, happy, healthy family, and enjoy your Halloween. And, hey, a lot of people skip over Halloween, and we're already going to celebrate Christmas like you with your stormtroopers.
Yes. And with that, we are signing off on another episode of the Cereal Box Prize Podcast.